The government is further moderating the supply of land for the private residential property market. There are only 4 confirmed sites in the land sales program for the second half of this year and 8 on the reserve list. 3 of the confirmed sites are set aside for private residential housing, with the remaining 1 for the executive condominium. In total, the 4 sites can yield about 2,100 private residential and EC units, a third lower than the 3,000 units offered in the first half of the year. The 8 sites on the reserve list, which means that they can only be triggered for a public tender if a developer makes an acceptable opening offer, can yield another 5,700 homes. Housing analysts say the cutback in supply does not come as a surprise.
In the past few years, there was a ramp up in the supply of land that's been put on the market, 84,000 units in the pipeline. So that is actually a huge pipeline of residential units that could come on stream over the next few years.
The government has been holding back on this new sites for lease is because I am sure they are aware of the backlog of unsold stock that has grown over the past 2 to 3 quarters. So this backlog unsold stock is required to basically taper down to a much healthier level before we can expect more land to be put out on the sale. But nonetheless, if the market requires or the developer requires land to develop, they can easily go into the reserve list and trigger a site from there.
As for land supply on the commercial front, no sites have been put on the confirmed list this time round. But property watchers say this newly added white site at Marina Bay is likely to generate strong interest from developers due to a lack of new office space in the CBD area. The closely watched mixed development site at Holland Road also remains on the reserve list, after being transferred from the confirmed list in the second half of 2014. Holland Village has been highlighted as one of the areas for rejuvenation under the government's latest master plan.